All right, hear me out. I think something really interesting is happening in the American motorcycle market space. Historically, Americans have pretty much only cared about giant Harleys, leader bikes, or BMW GSs. That's like pretty much all American riders really cared about. Yes, many riders in America cared about other things, and yes, there were many riders who liked other bikes in America, but on the whole, it's really changed a lot, I think, in the last few years, where Americans seem to finally start understanding smaller displacement motorcycles. There's this really cool phenomenon that these global market bikes, you know, stuff like the Triumph Speed 400, other motorcycles that are coming out that are actually, you know, designed for global markets, are being sold in America, with a lot of Americans happily riding them. And I think we've had such an amazing push in the beginner bike space as well. When I started riding, the Ninja 300 had like just come out. The concept of a beginner sport bike was a Ninja 250. That was it. You had the CBR 300R that had just come out, and you had the Ninja 300, and that was it. That was pretty much it. The R3 had just launched, and we started finally seeing some changes in the market with that. But it really was, you know, just very nascent, really starting to come into the fold. And I think over the years, unfortunately, as Americans have gotten broker and broker, it's been a very hard time economically. I think they've realized that they can have the same amount of motorcycling fun with something small that costs 1/4 of the price, as opposed to spending $20,000 on a Harley or a leader bike or a BMW GS. And honestly, I'm all for it, because cheap, small motorcycles are really some of the most fun motorcycles that there are. As mentioned, the Triumph Speed 400, bikes like the Groms, you know, like all the little bikes are just a ton of fun to ride and to use. And I think Americans are really starting to understand that now. It also represents an interesting change from a global marketing and kind of supply chain perspective, that you can build one single motorcycle that in one market is seen as, you know, like a very upmarket, amazing, cool motorcycle, like the Speed 400, or like the Aprilia RS 457, or like the Ninja 500. You know, in markets like India and in Brazil, those are considered proper big motorcycles. Those are considered really nice motorcycles that not many people can afford. On the flip side, you take that same motorcycle, you bring it over here to America, and that same bike has a totally different perspective. People see that as an awesome entry-level option. They see it as their first motorcycle, something that's cheap, something they can get into. And, you know, that's due to the fact that America is a much richer country than Brazil and India, and the GDP per capita is much higher, and, you know, our people are paid higher wages. But still, like, relatively speaking, it's not as high as, you know, it used to be. And so, yeah, you have this one bike now that can be sold across the country, across the you know, the oceans, and many people can enjoy them. To me, this is also bearing out in the fact that the middleweight adventure category is so popular, and now the new smaller displacement baby adventure category is so popular as well. I think this new generation of riders just simply doesn't have as big of an ego as they used to have, and that they need a big fast sport bike. And, you know, they understand that their dollars have to go pretty far nowadays, and they're not willing to, you know, go out and get a super impractical bike. They want something that they can really use and enjoy. It's like every year that passes, we get more motorcycles that are in the small displacement category than we get new motorcycles in the big, large displacement category. It's pretty rare nowadays to see some new flagship model or some brand new, bigger displacement bike. They're all like iterations on old models and tweaks and variations, and they're all kind of like trying to be more everyday practical, everyday usable, more like, you know, general purpose style of machines. You have like that new Triumph Tiger. The whole Tiger series, in fact, has become one of the biggest popular sellers for Triumph, and they're now making sport touring versions of them, and really changing things. Look at this road, dude. There was like a giant gouge in the middle of it. This is ridiculous, dude. So if you guys are wondering why I've been like having some fun with this street triple today, that is why. Because yeah, it's been a bit silly trying to avoid these crazy potholes and stuff. As a quick side note, I did want to mention that this street triple 765 RS that I'm on top of right now is a giveaway bike over on yammynoob.co. So go and check out the sweepstakes. And February is the final month for this bike. And at the end of the month, the sweepstakes will close. We're going to select a winner very shortly. But in the beginning of March, we're going to launch the next giveaway bike. So if you become a member right now, you'll earn your entries, stack them up, hold on to them, and then you can apply them to all future giveaways. We're doing a bike every single month in 2025. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited about it, so go and check that out. So yeah, seeing huge growth in the dual sport market and the baby adventure category and the multi-purpose categories. The tides are really just changing for motorcycle riders nowadays. And I really kind of think that, you know, if the way things are going keep going and Americans just don't ever really get back on track in terms of their income relative to expenses, unfortunately America's probably going to mimic a third world country more than it used to. I think it already kind of does. If we're being totally honest, it's very oligarchic here, very concentrated in terms of wealth. And every sort of 5 years that I live here, it just looks more and more like my home country of Brazil, where a few people have a lot of money and then there's everybody else. And with that kind of facing, you know, Americans, I think that they're kind of having to take a more global perspective. They're trying to have to, you know, be okay with riding these motorcycles that are designed for Indian markets or Thai markets or Indonesian markets, whatever they may be, because they're not going to be able to really afford any of the bigger displacement motorcycles. The other funny thing about it too is, you know, a lot of manufacturers have basically given up on, you know, the larger displacement categories in America. They don't even make certain bikes come over here anymore, right? The new XSR 900 GP does not come here, and that's really telling something, right? It's kind of crazy when you think about it, that, you know, you're at the point where certain large displacement bikes aren't even coming to America because they know it's like, well, it's probably not going to sell. I think Americans are probably just going to want, you know, some more boilerplate bikes, smaller displacement bikes, that sort of thing. I saw that S1000RR and this Ducati speeding by on this road. I don't know who the hell would speed on this road. This is one of the worst road conditions I've seen in Texas. Who the hell would want to rip on this road? It's nothing but potholes, tar snakes, gravel. You can be suicidal if you want, but not me. I mean, look at this condition when you're on the side of the tire. That's ridiculous. So it's sort of bittersweet news to me that, you know, Americans are getting more involved with the global marketplace, and some of the smaller bikes are getting more excited to American riders. I think the reasons that it's happening is a lot of it's economic, but some of it's like mindset shift and more of a global perspective, and, you know, understanding that we're all part of the same family here on this earth. And you know, bikes are fun no matter what, right? Like, you can ride a small displacement bike and it's a lot of fun. You can ride a bigger displacement bike and it's a lot of fun. Doesn't really matter, you know. But let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know what you think about Americans finally understanding small displacement bikes. Do you think that they always have understood small displacement bikes, or do you think that it's something that's changing over time? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. As always, thanks so much for checking out today's video. I truly do appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Look at this road. This road sucks. What the hell is this? Dude, this is ridiculous, man. This condition is so bad. The entire thing is like gouged out. You gotta be crazy to speed on this. You legitimately have to be insane.
Well, boys, that's the end of the show for today, but there's always a new video tomorrow. Every single day there's a Yammy Noob video. But while you wait for the next one to queue up, become a member on yammynoob.co and join to win this amazing Triumph Street Triple 765 RS that's right next to me. Cosmic yellow, street performance, track performance, a sonorous 3-cylinder. It has it all. Make sure you join on yammynoob.co and don't delay.